Hello, I am the one owner, and this is the Final Fantasy VII Remake Demo. Now, first things first, I have played the demo once before, played it on normal, but I had some opinions and thoughts, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna replay it. I'm gonna try to play it on an easy difficulty, and we'll see. I'll talk about some of the things I think, and some of the things that I might change my mind about in this second playthrough. I want that. Sure, let's go for store. Let's go for easy. It's like I said, I played normal, and it was fine. Whatever. Here's the intro.
Get down here, Merc.
So yeah, that's the intro, and I think they did a really good job recreating the original intro. I think they changed a couple of things, not a lot. Mostly Aerith, how she behaves, so to speak. Like, as I recall in the original, she just kind of walked out of the alley. She did not actually she wasn't in a hurry. But whatever, you know, it's fine, it's fine.
Halt! Who goes there? You're up.
I do kind of like the idea that Cloud is actually hired to do all the fighting, not just some of it, not just to support. Like it felt like he was in the original. Alright, so this is basically how to fight. Use square and hold square.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
Don't think so.
Yeah, these guys are a lot easier than in the other, because in the other you had to do like a full combo to kill them. Here you can kill them without a full combo. And basically that was one of the things that I was the most against. Like they had a bit of inflated HP.
Who in the hell?
We never were inside this building in the original game, as I recall.
Have fun.
I do kind of like that they're doing more like an infiltration thing. They're not just running through everything. To be gauge, I didn't really read any of these things. Should I save? Try taking the enemy. Yes, it's pretty basic stuff, but like I said, I didn't read it, so I want to make sure that I read it properly this time. You can spend ATB gauge charges to perform battle commands such as using abilities, magic, or items. I mean, I don't need to. I already killed both the enemies, but more enemies will come. Oh? Do we have a map? Huh, I didn't actually see the map last time. Like I said, I did play through it pretty, like, hastily, so to speak. I was just really excited to play the game, so I didn't read anything. That's pretty cool.
Drop the weapon!
You got this.
Yeah, what he said.
Defending against enemy attacks by pressing R1 or guard or circle to evade. Successful guard reduces the amount of damage suffered and also charges HP gauge. I didn't know it charged my HP gauge.
Can't get surrounded.
I knew that. I knew most of it, but I did not actually know that it's.
Come on.
Do that.
Try harder.
Yeah, it does. Can we already go into Punisher mode?
Not
I'm
bad.
just curious because they do have a tutorial for that later. So yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a really cool game. They decided to make it a bit more explorative and stuff. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you're not actually from a top-down point of view anymore. So you kind of have to explore your surroundings a bit more. You can't really just see everything in a wide area around you. You can push these things. It's pretty funny. Pretty cool. Ah, cool. We got some Shinra stuff. What we do for Midgar and for you. Oh, what we do for Midgar and for you. Cool. You found boxes with the Shinra logo, press square to smash them with your sword. Yeah. So that's not something that you could do in the original at all. Like, nothing like that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool addition. This is the part where you get Barrett. It's really cool because you can actually recognize the area if you play the game. So they've done a pretty good job recreating the environments.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Real joy to work with, though.
Real joy to look at, too.
Here we go.
You'll keep us safe.
Looks are what
Right.
people know
That's right.
first.
They really did upplay the whole Jesse crush thing on Cloud. As I recall, that was actually in the original. It's been a while since I played the original, but. And so now we get some more stuff. They're gonna talk. I don't know if I'll record the whole thing, the whole
Come on,
game.
nobody do something this crazy
But,
just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
I think you kind of sound like like Jimmy from GTA 5. That's what I think.
Wedge.
So in the original game, this is where you actually get Barrett as part of your party.
You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
And yeah, this is where we get our first, like, look from Cloud's perspective of the reactor. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how they reenacted it all, really. It's awesome. Oh, now we have a fight. And yeah, now this we will learn how to lock onto targets.
Guess you're first.
This is basically how it works. Can we go into Punisher mode? I'm just curious.
Get ready.
Yeah, we can. We do have some higher damage here, actually. Like, as I recall, in my first playthrough, we did not have very high damage at all. But then again, these are pretty standard enemies. I mean, I saw it go down, so it's pretty pointless to say, but whatever. Whatever. But yeah, this game looks amazing. It really does. It looks really great. It's hard to think back and compare it to the original, because the original looks really good too in its own way, but this game looks really great. Anything in here? Yeah, some treasure chest. Whatever. A Moogle medal. I'm not entirely sure what that is.
This way.
Oh, why is he moving? What? That's kind of weird.
Not so fast.
I guess I
We've
moved
got
too
company.
close to the thing and, well, to the guy. But yeah, I mean, like, for example, that guard dog, like, that is such a great recreation of how it actually, of how that model looks in the original game. They really did try to actually, like, remake everything. And it's fun. It's a bit heavy on tapping square, at the very least now in the beginning. It does get a bit better once you get Barrett. He is actually really funny to play as, because of his gun. Honestly, I would love to be able to play as Tifa and Aerith and, well, all the other characters, really. I guess Sid won't be making an appearance in this game, because it supposedly ends shortly after Midgar. But still, it would still probably be kind of cool to play as. We don't really have a lot to go on in terms of the gameplay, so to speak. Like, we really only have what we get here. And what we get here is basically Cloud with two moves and fire. And Barrett with another 2 moves and Cure and Thunder. So we don't really get a lot. One little complaint though. Cloud should have started with Thunder and Ice, like in the original game. I don't know, maybe that's because of maybe it's because this is the a demo. Maybe that'll change, I don't know. This is one of the most iconic areas of the beginning of the game. It's where you enter the reactor, it's pretty cool.
I'll secure our escape route, okay? You go on and catch up with the others.
So yeah, this is really cool. Like I said, how they actually recreated this, like you can actually see it. They should have shown it from above, because that's the way they show it to you in the original game.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you've seen a few reactors.
Can we actually skip cutscene? Yeah, we can skip cutscene. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, this is not gonna be like a 100% playthrough. I will probably edit out a lot, or at least some. I don't even know if I can actually have enough hard drive space to
In 3, 2.
record the whole thing. So we'll see.
Who's there? Door!
But I kind of do like the fact that they've done it like this instead of random battles. Like you get cutscenes and stuff that shows off that enemies are coming and
That's
stuff like
my
that.
line.
Of course, Cloud is cocky. It is a bit annoying that he is not exactly like Punisher mode. He cannot, however, guard against ranged attacks or magic. So when you do, you will actually switch back to the other mode. But he is very powerful when he's in that mode. He has, like, his move is a lot different. I like that. I like that you don't have identical move sets all the time. I think that's a pretty cool idea. And it is one of the things that that Final Fantasy 15 did that really sucked. The fact that you could only really, like, attack normally and use, like, skills. In this you have various,
So,
you have
Tifa,
different...
right? It's not really
oh,
my
wrong way.
business, but are you guys close?
This is something that I really like too.
Tifa and I.
That's when he has like his memory stuff. So yeah, there are spoilers, yes. So yeah, basically he has some memory problems really, and I think they showed that off pretty well. In the original, he just kind of clutched his head with both his hands and just went down on his knees, and everything turned red. There was this loud noise. So I think they actually did it pretty well here. And of course we have Heidegger, I think, and President Shinra himself.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer.
I really like how they look. They
This pump's
they
sole
look
purpose is to drain
just
the
like
planet
you
dry.
imagined they
While
would.
you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest and it doesn't care.
Yeah, that's not very important. We already know basically why Barrett is doing this. He hates Shinra. It's that simple. And now we have Barrett in our party because now we have ranged enemies. So hold down square releases a sustained burst of automatic fire when equipped with a ranged weapon. Well, I mean, he can't equip any other weapons, as I remember anyways. He can fire from a safe location and hit enemies that Cloud cannot reach with his sword.
Gonna throw your sword at him? Let the man with the gun go to work.
Alright. Okay. There we go, that's how you lock him.
Cans ain't got nothing on me.
Press triangle and control Barrett to deliver a heavy hitting attack that fills a large portion of his ATB gauge. Once unleashed, it takes a long time to recharge this attack. Pressing triangle, however, will speed up the process. So he works a little bit different from Cloud. Cloud has two modes, whereas Barrett has essentially his normal attacks and another attack. He can defend, just like Cloud,
That all you got?
but he also has his overcharge.
For the real show.
Switch to different characters depending on the battle situation. Yes. Also stick with the same character and issue orders to party allies. Okay, so we use L2 and R2 to issue commands. So let's see here. We have abilities. He has Steel Skin and he has Focused Shot. So what Steel Skin does is, yeah, temporarily reduce damage taken and how easily you're interrupted. And Focused Shot consumes your ATB gauge to unleash a concentrated burst of energy. So let's do that to this thing. It reminds me a lot of his, what you call it, limit break. They do have limit breaks in this game as well. But we just haven't gotten to the point where we can actually use them yet. I like the music, but I feel like it's a little bit,
Look what we have here.
yeah, a little bit off.
Security system.
It could be more
These
like
things
the
will hurt more than
original.
your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But
Well, this is something
I guess
new
you've
as
done
well,
this
I
kind of
think.
thing before.
I don't remember
Yeah.
this being in the
Figure
original.
out the timing of the lasers. Then make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
Hey!
Just keep those baby blues of yours on me.
Move around outside a battle more quickly by holding R1 or R2 to dash. Or you can press L3 once to keep dashing until you stop moving. So that's basically how it works. It's pretty simple. You could dash in the original game too. Yes, you could run.
He's a natural.
Let's just see here. No, nothing. Just where's oh. The box physics is kind of all over the place.
Not too shabby.
There are some of those boxes up there. I remember seeing those last time too, but I was never able to get them. I couldn't really. You can't switch to Barrett, so that's weird. Well, I guess you're not supposed to get them.
You're doing good.
You get potions and stuff, which is pretty good. So like I said, it's a fun game, and I would love to see how it's gonna like get better, like how it's gonna change with more party members and stuff. Because right now we only have 2, and it would be great if we could actually just change party members. I'm just gonna run into this thing.
Nice job, Cloud.
Nice job, you ran into it twice and then whatever. So we can actually heal as well.
I'm glad that's over with.
Use potions.
And we're almost at our objective.
Yes, we're almost at the objective.
Look,
Alright.
they don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
Alright. But first we want to get this treasure chest. Yeah. So I don't think they actually touch on how to equip and unequip
Ah, we can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we
material.
rush in,
That's
we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
So right now we should be using Barrett to build up his gauge a bit.
Hey, stop moving.
With staggering enemies. Hitting enemies with certain attacks or dealing large amount of damage will temporarily knock them off balance, and pressure will appear underneath the gauge. Yes, that is true. Pelt them with spells and abilities to quickly fill their stagger gauge under the life bar. Once it's full, you can stagger them. The gauge fills faster depending on abilities and magic use, as well as the foe's vulnerabilities. Okay.
Give it all you
Okay,
got.
perfect. No. Well, let's hit it with thunder, because machines are generally weak to thunder. Ah, it's staggered. They're defenseless and take more damage. Using unique abilities on a staggered foe will quickly boost your ATB gauge. Okay.
Now's our chance. Go.
Don't need to tell me twice. I'm going
So let's use Braver, because Braver is an ability and not a limit break. Okay, so that's how that works. I never really got a good feel for how that worked. That's pretty cool.
First.
Right.
Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Those all I know. A soldier's
So this is pretty cool. Like, they have this little talking sequence that isn't really a cutscene.
Live and learn.
And I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that they can actually talk to each other and stuff and quip. Kind of like in Final Fantasy 15. They haven't really done that in any earlier game, as I recall. So here we go. This is
That's
the
our
reactor.
target, the reactor core. Gotta
Cool.
set the bomb at the bottom. Let's
Yes.
get down there.
Right. This is actually the first time where I actually encountered something that I find really annoying.
Practically tasted.
We'll get to it though. We'll get to it. And we'll see. Maybe it won't be a big issue like in the future like in the future.
Like a jackhammer.
But I mean, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Like excited. I've been dreaming about this for years.
Well, I mean, of course he has.
Heads up, boys. The end's in sight.
All right.
Leave the rest in your capable hands. Good luck.
So here you're supposed to go forward, but there is this path as well. So if we go here,
Not that way. Down the ladder, dummy.
we get this, which is like, okay. I mean, why? Why not just let me go all the way over to the ladder and say, not that ladder? Like, why can I not explore that? Like, or something, you know? Like, they could say something like, that ladder leads back, or whatever, just something. Instead of just stopping me dead in the tracks. But yeah, I feel like enemies are dying a lot quicker in easy mode. Well, naturally, I guess. But yeah, I mean, because it felt like the difficulty in normal was inflated numbers. And I don't think that's an actual difficulty, honestly. Like, that's just an annoyance. There we go. That's pretty cool. But there's one more. Oh, it's up there.
Let's go.
That can be a bit annoying too, keeping track of where all the enemies are. That is also something that is kind of annoying. Just a small indicator would be very useful. Alright, let's go down to the core. And there, in the original, as I recall, there was a save point here, but I don't think we can actually save, so... So let's go. And now he's having memory flashbacks and stuff, thinking about this.
All right, let's see if little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are.
They didn't
That
mention
you're one of
Tifa,
us.
as I recall,
said I
in the
was.
first
I'm just here for
reactor,
the paycheck.
like in this part of the game, in the original, as I
Then do
recall.
the damn job.
Honestly, grabbing it like that, I'm surprised he didn't detonate it right away. And memory problems. With a hint of foreshadowing. I mean, on one hand, I kind of like that they're foreshadowing Sephiroth already. But on the other hand, I kind of like the fact that he wasn't actually in the picture at all until later in the game. I kind of
What
like
about
that.
the timer?
Because
You'll call,
Shinra was enough for an enemy for now, in my opinion. For the start of the game, Shinra was enough. So that is one of the things that I am kind of split about. Let's set it to 20 minutes. I did 30
Pretty
last.
cocky, ain't you?
When you do 30, he just says, "That enough time for you?"
You double crossing!
That is pretty cool actually. That he immediately assumes that Cloud double-crossed them, and it makes sense too because you know he's a former soldier and stuff.
It's got reinforced armor plating, but the internals can be overloaded. Lightning magic.
So we're not dealing a lot of damage here. Let's build up the ATB gauge, then we swap to Barrett. Build up his ATB gauge. And now he's down. Let's spam him with Thunder. Last time I couldn't really do that, so... Oh. Now he's doing this.
The hell is that?
A barrier?
Right, the barrier. I remember that.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your brilliant plan, genius?
It's my time to shine.
I do like that they did the whole search scope thing as well.
Want some more?
Come on, man. He is taking a lot more damage in this than he did on normal. That is actually true.
Yeah, baby.
Now's our chance. Give it everything you've got.
Yes, let's use Thunder on it.
Stay down, asshole.
And then we want to swap to Cloud and use Braver right away. Ah, crap. Alright, he's doing this now. Oh, so this fight is going a lot faster on easy, I have to admit. So yeah, basically, I have to say the difficulty in normal really is just inflated numbers. Go. There we go. Come on. Come on. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't feel very cool hitting him for 1 and 2 damage every time. It's really it just doesn't feel cool if you know what I mean. Oh, it's staggered. Cool. Can't use Thunder though, but oh, we're almost at the point where we can use Focus Shot. Abilities, we want to use Focus Shot and we want to use Braver, because those are the strongest attack we have. Unfortunately, he didn't stay staggered for long enough, but honestly, I don't know about the whole staggered thing. It feels like it's a little bit too much Final Fantasy 13, if you know what I'm saying.
Damn it. We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
Oh, I am way ahead of you.
As I recall, the left
Time our
legs.
attack's just right. Hold out until you spot it open.
There we go. And it's dead.
That's that.
Yeah, I have to admit, the length of this battle was a lot more appropriate on easy. Like on normal, it did drag on. It did drag on a lot. I mean, he went into the shield mode like 3 times. But honestly, I like this cinematic. It's a bit cooler than him just kind of fading out.
Until detonation.
A bit more cinematic, if you know what I'm saying.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
Come on, we've gotta move.
So now we have this timed segment.
Be covering our way out.
We actually have to run out. We have 20 minutes. I do kind of like that they allow you to set the amount of time. And yes, we can actually like run inside of Barrett or climb inside of him. It's weird, but it's fine. I would actually prefer it. I do actually prefer them doing it like that. Because if you have to wait, that is just one of those things that I just hate. Just having to wait for NPCs to stop using ladders and stuff. That's a good thing. Don't know how many times actually it comes up in the future, but I'm sure it will come up at least 1 or 2 times. But yeah, I like the whole thing here, because in the original they didn't actually change the reactor at all on the inside, in between how it was before you set the bomb and afterwards. This is pretty cool too. It's a bit more, like I said, it's a bit more cinematic.
You okay?
Do I look okay? Help a girl out, would you? My hero.
Hey, we'll link up over there. Look after Jesse.
Come this way.
Yes. So this is actually the stair, or well, the whatever it's called. The ladder that I wanted to go to before, but couldn't. Like they could have just said that's just an emergency escape route. Like they could have just said something like that instead of just stopping you dead in your tracks and saying that's not the right way. That kind of stuff annoys me a bit. I do like to be able to explore. Of course, we can actually like sprint up and down these ladders, which is pretty cool, really good. Honestly, like if you're gonna have ladders, you have to have that stuff in, otherwise it's just too annoying. And I do like the dialogue. Cloud is a bit emo Cloud, but he's not 100%, which is pretty good. Because he shouldn't be emo Cloud here, he really shouldn't.
There it!
I've got you covered. Find us the way out of here.
But then...
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
And I do like the fact that the enemies have their ridiculous appearances from the original. I do like that. And they haven't really made a thing of it, like they don't actually mention it, like how that thing is weird. For example, those mono drives, like how they are weird. Nobody actually mentions that, and I think that's good because they didn't in the original game. Like if I saw a weird eye robot like that, I would probably be a bit weirded out. No, not ability. We want to use spells. We want to use thunder.
Watch this.
I want to use braver and dead. So that's pretty effective honestly. Like, I did not... This is not exactly how I played the first time. I used a lot more normal attacks. But I feel like I've gotten more of an understanding of how it actually works. And it works pretty good, honestly. And I would love to have more moves to chain together, but, I mean, this is the intro. So we'll see. Now, I think, yeah, this guy. This is about where I had my first real, like, this is annoying fight. Aside from the guard scorpion. So there was this guy here, this enemy guy. I think we're coming up on him right after this fight. I do like that Cloud can actually jump, but I do kind of not like that you can't actually jump yourself. Like, you have to rely on him doing it on his own while attacking. That is kind of annoying. I don't like having to rely on game systems to do stuff like jumping and such. Like, even in Legend of Zelda, I don't really like having to run across a ledge to be able to jump. Here we go. This guy, the Shock Trooper. These guys were not particularly tough in the original. Yeah, this guy's not that tough either. Yeah, that was a lot easier than on normal. He just had so much health, and he just kept dodging. So yeah, honestly, so far I gotta say easy is the way to play this game, because it just feels more natural. So let's take on these sentries first. We do have 2 more of those guys. This fight was a real pain, as I recall first time. Because of the fact that they just wouldn't freaking die. Like, it just took so long to die. There we go. Normal enemies are a little bit easier to stagger than most tougher enemies. And I like that, because you don't usually need to stagger everything, as I've understood it. At least in Final Fantasy 13, that is kind of how it works.
That was easy.
Staggering most things is good, but you don't actually have to stagger everything to kill it. You just need to get the chain gauge high enough. But yeah, like I said, this so far I actually really like this game. Oh, and I like this too. It's a small addition that they've actually added. So in the original, that's it. That blew up the reactor. But here we have this.
Sir.
Yeah, smartphone. This. I really like how they actually sabotage it themselves and make the whole reactor blow up. Because it very much foreshadows things that are actually gonna happen. And honestly, like, if you haven't played the original game, yeah, that might not make a lot of sense.
Come on.
But basically, these guys are shitty terrorists, and they want them to appear like they're real good terrorists. So that they can crush them and then just essentially send a message that, you know, terrorism is not the answer against Shinra. Essentially. That's what they want to do. That's the big plan, so to speak. And that's why they did that. And it makes a lot of sense. Which is pretty cool. And plus it just puts on a whole other layer of asshole for them, really. I don't think there's anything. Actually, we have infinite time. The timer is gone.
Can you walk?
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
I'll take that as a yes.
They really upplayed her crush on Cloud. They really did. As I recall in the original, it's just a couple of lines of, you know, flirting.
Okay, that was pretty cool. All right, come on.
Then again, it's been a long time since I played the original. And here goes. Here she blows. And this is also something that I like. You can just see everything, just all the lights just turning out. It's pretty cool. It really fits because, you know, you blew up an energy reactor, so makes sense. And then we have just a trailer for the game. But yeah, basically, it looks really good and it plays very well. It would be great to try out with some more interesting combinations, like with more characters, more moves. You know, that would be really cool. And cinematically, the game has been upgraded like crazy. I mean, granted, the most cinematic it would get would be the pre-rendered cutscenes, and they were usually pretty short and very, you know, scarce. So yeah, honestly, I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't know if I'll buy it immediately, but it looks really cool. And it plays really cool too. This demo has improved my opinion of the remake. Honestly, like, I was a bit more skeptic from the start. There we go. Select a version to purchase. No, not right now. But yeah, like I said, my opinion on the remake has been improved. I haven't really tried the classic, so I'm gonna quickly do that. Just quickly. I'm gonna skip the cutscenes and stuff, just to see what it's all about. Because, I mean, like I said, I haven't tried it yet. I've only tried normal and easy.
Halt!
So let's see what this is all about. When the difficulty is set to classic, the player-controlled character will engage enemies in battle automatically, attacking, defending, and evading as appropriate. With this mode active, you can simply wait until the ATB gauge is filled and press X to execute commands and dictate the flow of combat. You can always control the player-controlled characters. Battle difficulty is the same as easy. Okay.
You're coming with us.
So
Nice and easy.
Don't think so.
okay, that's pretty cool. So it's just doing its own thing. Let's get to the next fight and see what's up. Because now we should have some ATB gauge, so I can. No, it actually resets.
Move and we shoot.
Go ahead.
Can I change him to Punisher mode? I can. Okay, so I can
Enough of this.
dictate whether or not he's. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Nothing to it.
I'll try the next fight as well.
Drop the weapon.
Yeah, there are more enemies in this fight, so this should be a bit interesting to see how it actually handles this.
You're coming with us.
Can't get surrounded. Nope.
So we use Braver now. Let's try that.
That's that.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it's very casual and it's super easy. Precious key. Whatever. But yeah, so that's okay. So that's pretty cool actually. I like the idea. I like the idea behind it. It doesn't really work exactly like Classic, but if you're in it for a more casual experience that is closer to the original than the actual fight system, honestly, yeah, I can see how that would be fun, honestly, doing a playthrough like that. Especially like if you don't know how to play it and you're having a hard time understanding it. I can understand doing that. But however, I do feel like there should be the option to turn it on and off. Like if you set your difficulty classic. Oh, we can actually change whenever we want. I looked for that yesterday, but I couldn't find it. So oh yeah, we can change at will. Cool. That's awesome. That makes it a lot better because that way you can just switch to classic if you're having a hard time figuring out how to actually like play. That's really good. That's very beginner friendly, I would say. If it should be called classic, I'm not entirely sure, but it should be called something like autoplay or something instead. But hey, classic sounds a lot better and appeals a lot to the fans of the original game. Whatever. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this remake, more so now than before. And yeah, it's kind of weird that this is not loveless. It's air. It's kind of weird. Are these loveless? No. Bonora White. Delicious, fresh, and healthy. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, right, it's the Bonora apples, like in freaking Crisis Core. I remember that now. That's a good reference. I really like that. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, which I hope you have, thanks for watching. Well, I mean, that came out really weird. Thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed this demo, and I do want to play the full game. I might do a playthrough sometime in the future when it's released, like either on YouTube or on Twitch. Really, I started streaming a lot recently. We'll see. This game is one of those games that is gonna be like so freaking big. Like when Kingdom Hearts 3 was released, everyone was uploading videos, everyone was streaming it. We'll see. But for now, thanks for watching, and yeah. Bye!